Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here and welcome to another video today. Today we are going to be talking about Prime Ronaldinho and as well as other stuff. As you guys know, I like to answer the questions that people usually ask in the videos of the previous videos so that we can answer them in the form of a video because I know that people kind of like these types of things. I know that people are really into podcasts and stuff nowadays, so I know that this video is very long, but it's just a conversation about FIFA and different aspects about the game and what I like and don't like because people usually ask a lot of questions when it comes to personal preference of players, what I usually do in certain situations, all that kind of stuff. But first and foremost, we're going to talk about Prime Ronaldinho. Prime Ronaldinho, guys, is a fantastic card. I'm actually going to search up his stats right now, and I'm going to tell you guys why he's so good in this game. The Prime Ronaldinho card is a left-wing version of it, right? There's literally nothing wrong with the card. When I'm using it, it's honestly amazing. There's actually a lot of times where I genuinely feel that the Ronaldinho card is actually better than Ronaldo's card. And the reason being, which is the biggest reason, is because he actually has balance, right? He has, I believe it's 5-star, 4-star. Yeah, 5-star, 4-star. So he has a 4-star week with a 5-star skill moves. He is so much fun to use, guys. Like, it's actually ridiculous the difference that a player like Ronaldinho can make to your team because of how good he is. He has 94 acceleration, 91 sprint speed, which is beautiful to have considering, right? He's 5'11", while having a big physical stature in game, while also being 81 physical, because he has 84 strength, guys, while being a big dude in 5'11". That is honestly amazing to have in this game, right? His dribbling, we know what his dribbling was like back in the day. His dribbling is amazing in this game. It's 94, 89, 93, 95, 96, 94. In my opinion, he actually might be the best icon player in the game. Because, well, I never tried out R9, but a lot of people have been really, like, skeptical about him. They always say that, you know, some people say that he's too slow on the ball. Others say that, you know, he's not the greatest. Thierry Henry, I think he's lacking in the balance and stuff, and people notice that sometimes, right? But I never tried out those players. I would have to try them on an actual squad to see if they were good or bad. But, dude, Ronaldinho, he's so good, guys. His finishing is very consistent. He's got very good composure at 94, right? Because he has 93 finishing with 94 composure, 86 shot power. Like, everything is just beautiful on this card. He has 83 volleys, so the volleys is definitely noticeable that it's not super up there. Unless you give him a 100 card. I'm pretty sure if you give him a 100 card or I don't even know what I would give the card because his passing is pretty good. His pace is pretty... I would just give him 100 to make him a speed demon. And then... Because his dribbling is already super fast. His passing is so accurate. Like, he's honestly amazing. When I was using him, guys, I genuinely thought that he was better than Ronaldo. Like, the regular Ronaldo card. Because of the balance. And I know I mentioned that earlier, but it's honestly such an amazing card. I have zero, actually, I was going to say I have zero cons about the card, but the only con that I have about the card, depending on which formation or where you want to use Ronaldinho, the high-low work rates presents a problem sometimes. I actually prefer my players to be high-medium because you have more options. You can use them on the left mid-side, right mid-side, cam, striker, and there's a very good balance there. But with the high-low work rates, you know, you have to use them either as a striker or a cam, which obviously isn't a problem because that's the only place you would honestly put him in because he's amazing there. The card's amazing. He doesn't really have any heading, which isn't a problem because he's huge. So even though his heading is 54, he'll still bang in headers from time to time because he's a strong player. Love the card. I think I had him in 3 or 4 different drafts, and I just loved using him in every draft. He was an amazing card. I also got the 96 Ronaldo card, and Ronaldo's a good card, but the thing about Ronaldo's card is that unless you're hopping from a regular one to a Team of the Year one, honestly, you don't really notice too much of a difference. Like, when I'm using the Ronaldo card, especially the 96 card, I don't notice this huge difference of the cards between that one and the regular one. Because the thing about Ronaldo's card is that the only thing that you would genuinely notice is a balance boost. Balance is going to be the only thing that you will genuinely notice on the card because... And even though it's not... Even still, it's not noticeable because if you actually search up Ronaldo's card, right? We're going to search up his card right now. So the regular Cristiano Ronaldo card is perfect in everything. So literally has doesn't really have any problems, but the passing is noticeable on his card sometimes, right? Unless you actually give him a good stat boost in terms of chemistry style. So maybe the passing is the only other thing that you would actually genuinely notice, because it is 77 long passing with 83 short passing. But if you actually improve on the card and get his 96 version of his card, he gets to 87 short passing and 80 long passing, which again, it still isn't a huge difference. But with his Team of the Year being 88 long passing and 95 short passing, that's when you notice the difference. So yeah, I still stand by the fact that you would have to get the Team of the Year for you to really, really notice a difference on the card, which, to be honest, you definitely do. Whenever I get a Team of the Year Ronaldo in draft, it's just destruction with him. Like, he's just an absolutely amazing player to use. He has amazing heading. As you know, in real life, he's a god at heading. His jumping is god tier. His strength is god tier. An amazing card as well. But yeah, I had the 96 Ronaldo. Again, when I get these cards, I don't notice this huge difference on them. I always feel like with a card like Ronaldo, because his stats are already super high, the only two differences on his card that you will notice is his passing and his balance. Bless me, thank me. The only difference that you'll notice with this card is that, again, balance and passing. So it's not like worth going from a regular Ronaldo to a Team of the Year because of those two concepts by itself. So with that being said, with Ronaldinho and Ronaldo, we're going to go ahead and move on to some questions that people usually ask. I get this question quite a lot, actually. The question is should I go for 85 Blanc or Prime Rijkaard as my CDM? So I never tried out Prime Rijkaard in this game. Reason being is because getting the loan version of a card, I didn't know if it was expensive at the time, but I ended up not getting the loan version of the card, and I'm pretty sure it's too late for that now. But when I looked at his card, right, he has 72 agility with 54 balance, right? And he has 75 acceleration with 78 sprint speed. Now, the thing about this card is that it is a trying out card. Because a lot of times when I'm comparing a card like Rijkaard to a card like Laurent Blanc, there are specific aspects to the way that I see it when I play FIFA. There are specific aspects that make a player significantly better than certain players. Like Rijkaard has high defensive and high physical capabilities that might help him be a better defensive player over someone like Laurent Blanc. But the thing about Laurent Blanc, right, is that he has the acceleration and sprint speed, right? And he has good agility and balance, considering how tall he actually is, right? And it allows you to move left and right more smoothly, right? So when you have that, it just allows you to defend better. Now, when you have someone who has 54 balance and 72 agility, he won't be as quick moving left and right, but he might have stats that are good enough to compensate for the lack of something like balance and agility and not as good acceleration and sprint speed as Laurent Blanc. I would personally use Laurent Blanc over a Rijkaard. I've told people in my stream sometimes, like, you guys should totally get the loan card of Rijkaard, try out the loan card. If you don't like the loan card, then obviously don't get the card, right? So with a card like Rijkaard, it's a trying out card. You have to try him out and see if you like him. Get the loan card first. Never do the prime version of the card unless you tried out the loan card. That's always what you should do, because there are specific stats that usually make players worse than they actually seem. I've seen some people not like Mateus, and I guess it's because of people being like really, really specific. Because like, dude, I'm at a point in FIFA where like my team's not crazy, so if you gave me a Mateus, I'd be super happy with it. But when people have a lot of money, they have a lot to work with, right? But I could see why people wouldn't like Mateus because of the 77 agility with the 81 balance, but and the 77 dribbling. But like, I think that's more because people have a lot of money to work with, so they can always switch around those things. But if I got a Mateus, I would be incredibly happy to get that card because it's amazing, right? 89 pace, 89 shooting, 90. Like he's good at everything. He even has a weak foot, right? So I don't know. It's very situational, right? Like you have to try out these players sometimes to see if you really like them. When you look at these cards before you actually use them, stuff like agility being low, dribbling being low, strength being low in the midfield, and the jumping kind of being low on a card that is 5'9", it might affect you, right? But those are the type of stats where it doesn't actually mean that he's going to be a bad card. It's just the type of stats that you have to see and be like, okay, this is a guy I need to try out. There's trying out cards, and then there's cards that are just like, that's not even worth trying out. Like, Shevchenko's card, I tried out his prime version of his card, right? I looked at his stats, and I didn't like his stats before I tried him. And then when I tried him, he was terrible, right? So there's certain cards that are just not worth trying out because you can tell before you even use them. Nowadays, you can. Before, people like S-Wine were gods, and it made no sense because their stats were nowhere near what they should have been in terms of the quality that they did in the game, right? Or quality of football that they did in the game. So the game nowadays, the stats make sense. There's a reason why Bakayoko is one of the most overused CDMs. There's a reason why Gabriel Jesus and Martial are overpowered. You guys seen in the videos why I explain in the attacking midfielders and defenders video why each of these players are really good. So there's always a reason why a player is good nowadays, right? Whereas back in the day, like there's not really overpowered players nowadays. They have stats that make sense for FIFA as to why they're good, right? So these are trying out cards, right? So to answer your question in the short version, I would use Laurent Blanc because I've only had experience with Laurent Blanc in this game. So that's what I would say. How can I upgrade my squad? De Gea, Valencia, Bailly, Boateng, Alaba, Pogba, Bakayoko, Inform Tolisso, Inform Alessandrini, Mbappe, Martial. Dude, it's very hard to upgrade that team because honestly, dude, that's just the pure boring meta that everyone uses, right? So it's hard to upgrade from that team because of the certain work rates that you're working with, right? Sometimes you can upgrade to a better team and they actually will perform worse because it's the general movement of the players on the attacking and defensive side that doesn't work out. I played a Division 1 recently on the PlayStation where I was trying out a different team, and right off the bat, trying out a different team is just a big no-no in this year's game, right? Like, you just can't do it. Like, you're going to lose games because you're not really thinking about the meta concept, which is really, really crappy, right? Like, if you don't have meta in your teams, you genuinely can't do anything in your games, and it's really, really annoying that's the case. But you have a pretty typical team, man. There's not really much that you can do to upgrade from that. You can get icons and stuff, but people always ask me, why when you are talking about upgrades, you're always talking about upgrading from a player like Bakayoko to a player like Patrick Vieira? That's too big of a step. The reason why I talk about these things like a switch from Bakayoko to a switch to like Patrick Vieira is genuinely because there's no one else that is meta that can replace a Bakayoko that has the certain qualities that he has in a game that is really, really competitive or oriented, right? I'll give you guys a really good example. Like, people always say, oh, can you just switch to Suarez or can you just switch to Neymar and stuff? I'm like, I can't, because if I switch to these players, you need to have chemistry around those players for it to work. And if I try to make a team that revolves around Suarez, that means I would have to use a player like Messi, which is a very expensive player. I would have to use a player like Dembele, which is a very inconsistent player. He's very good, but very inconsistent. There's too many concepts, right? Like, the team that I currently have, for me personally, it's like impossible to upgrade the team because the way that the work rates are set up in the team, the only way that I can upgrade the squad is by putting icons in it, because the lower quality of players, they don't really have the same quality of the players that I have right now. Like, with Roberto Firmino, he has high work rates, good weak foot, can shoot the ball, can pass the ball in a cam position. It's hard to come by that in a cam position, right? Like, and he's also tall too, which is very helpful as well. Very, very difficult to replace these players. And work rates, for sure, is the biggest thing for me, man, in terms of why you can't really upgrade from a player like Martial to a player like Neymar right off the bat, right? So that's a pretty big thing for me. Only channel I make sure to leave a like on. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that. Yeah, sorry about the last video, guys. I said right all the time. Like, it was pretty bad. I don't know. Sometimes when I'm making the videos, like, when my brain is just moving, I need to, like, say a word or say something to, like, I don't even know how to explain it. Just, like, get the thinking process back and going. You know what I'm saying? 4-1-2-2 bracket 2 beats me every time in Division 1. I use 4-2-3-1. 4-1-2-2 is going to counter 4-2-3-1 on the attack, right? Because you're going to have two CDMs in a cam, but your left mid and right mid are pushed out wide, but all the attacking is being done in the middle, right? So it's just going to be pressure in the middle. So you probably have to switch your formation if the 4-2-3-1 doesn't work for you. What I actually tend to do is with the 4-2-3-1, I just make my left mids and right mids push out when their center mids push out, and then just kind of stay around the middle area and only push out to the sides if I really feel like that extra pressure is needed. So that's what I would say to that, man. Let's see what else we got here. Why are you playing Jesus right mid and Martial striker? So I'm playing Jesus right mid because Jesus has high work rates, right? In a 4-2-3-1 system, the way that I play the game and the way that I see it is that FIFA nowadays is incredibly defensive oriented, right? So I personally really did not like conceding goals that were from counterattacks or people just being able to attack against me easily because I don't have CDMs, I don't have midfielders at all. So it really annoyed me, right? This is when I was using like the 4-1-2-2. So what happened was I used a player like Jesus who has high work rates. So I tell him to come back in defense in a 4-2-3-1 formation. I tell him to come back in defense. High work rates will actually make him go back more often than it'll make him stay forward. Because here's the thing, right? If you use a player like Ronaldinho who's low work rates and you tell him to stay back, to come back on defense, he'll do it, but he won't do it with as much urgency as someone like Jesus will, because high defensive work rates will make him push back really quickly. And I noticed that right away when I was like switching my team around a little bit, that it just didn't really work out when I was trying out a player with high, medium, and stuff. That's why I'm saying it's very hard for me to replace my players. A player can be high, medium in your team, but you have to really consider the balance of the team and how it's moving, right? Like, I tried Alessandrini in the game, and Alessandrini is an amazing player, but the high, medium work rates, he moved really oddly around the pitch as a left mid, right? So that's why I didn't really like using him too much. So that explains the Jesus situation. The Martial situation is really down to physical, right? Because he has a physical presence that Gabriel Jesus does not have at all. I can launch driven passes towards Martial or launch passes to him. He can hold up the play because he has decent physical abilities. He has a decent height, whereas Gabriel Jesus is short with no physical attributes whatsoever, right? So with someone like Martial, I can outbody someone and, you know, move around a little bit and create good plays. The thing about Martial, though, is it's the finishing. The finishing is really inconsistent, and that's where the pay-to-win concept kind of pushes in, where like people like Ronaldinho and Ronaldo are good. And don't get me wrong, guys. There are people in this world that can do well with a team that I currently have, right? They can do well in FUT Champs and get top 100 with the team that I have. But not everyone is like that, right? There have been pro players that have tried challenges of, you know, using teams that are like 200K, 300K, and they didn't do as well. And there's a lot of different aspects, right? Gameplay being inconsistent. It could have changed on the day that they did really poorly. It could be because of the fact that they can't do everything that they want to do. The way that I see FIFA and the way that I see teams and the way it works in FIFA is that if you give me a full meta squad and you give somebody else a full meta squad, I would be more than happy with that. Like, back in FIFA 17, when I had a decent squad compared to other people, I never did this thing where it's like, holy crap, I'm facing like a really good team, I'm screwed, because I had a good team. So it made no sense for me to say that, oh my god, I'm screwed, he has a really good team. Like, I feel like that's kind of like a dumb thing to do, because if you have a good squad, you shouldn't hope to come up against like, well, you should hope to come up against like weaker teams, but if you do, if you don't, then it shouldn't be a problem because you have your full meta, right? And I feel like that's the most important thing. But yeah, with Martial, he's inconsistent with the finishing, but he's still a very good player to have in a team. He's actually more consistent than I would say, majority of the players in the game, because I don't know, there's players in this game that they're always missing something when you're trying them out. And trying out players in this game is not worth it, because the way that taxes work and the way that expensive players work is that if you spend money on a player like, I wouldn't even say players, I'll just say like, if you spend 400K on a player and you end up not liking that player, an hour or two later, your player might drop like 50K, right? 50K is a lot of money in this game, because if you think about it in the FUT Champs concept, some people don't even get a 50K upgrade from getting Elite 3 or Elite 2, right? In terms of like rewards. So 50K is a lot of money. It's not worth trying out players because you just lose way too much for what you're doing with your team. Like, if you end up not liking it, you just wasted way too much money to try out a squad. So I feel like that could definitely be a problem in FIFA as well. The last games I used the 4-2-2. The positive side of this is that the CDMs stay in their position while the cams on the side move back and forth. It is a good balance between attack and defense. You could attack either from the middle or from the sides, or go back and forth, middle, side, middle. I think this is a very good formation, better than the 4-2-3-1 because it's too defensive. What is your opinion about that? Love your vids, by the way. Other than the other streamers, you take everything in depth and detail. Appreciate it a lot. Would love to play a game against you too. Just messaging me, bro. Cheers, M. In regards to the 4-2-2, I never tried the 4-2-2 in regular play because here's the thing, right? And this is going back to what I was saying earlier, how you can't really trial players because you're risking too much. If you use the 4-2-2, the only way for you to truly test out that formation is by playing with it in seasons, right? If you're not playing with that team in seasons, you're not going to be able to test it out to its true potential, right? Because in draft, think about the players that are in the team. You have CDMs, you have cams, and then you have strikers, right? Because you have CDMs, cams, and strikers, it's very difficult to get good draft selections from those positions while also trying to get good chemistry, right? So if you get a 4-2-2 in a draft, it's possible to get a good team, but you have to be very mindful of the types of players you're going to be getting, because the person that you get in the cam spot is only cam. He's not a cam in a center mid. He's only a cam, right? So it's tough to trial the formation. I've always wanted to trial the formation because I know earlier into the year, there were a lot of good players that did try out the formation and they actually really liked it, right? People who got top 100 at times, right? From guys who switch around the formation a lot to try out different things. They said that they really liked the 4-2-2. But I definitely get the concept because I think you can actually tell your left attacking mid and your right attacking mid to come back on defense. I could be wrong in saying that, but I haven't tried out the formation yet, dude. But it does seem like it could be really good because it's more narrow-minded than a regular 4-4-2. So there's definitely potential there in the formation being good. You have no idea how much you helped me, man. Thank you so much. Liked and subscribed. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Is Rijkaard a good replacement for Blancas? Is way cheaper than a natural CDM. See, I told you guys. It's funny. People ask that one a lot because of the price difference, right? The Laurent Blanc and the Rijkaard situation is literally because of the price situation. But I like Laurent Blanc a lot, man. And you could sell Laurent Blanc if you don't like him. Rijkaard, you get him, you're screwed. You have him forever. There goes your... I don't even know how much he costs. He probably costs like 600K by now. I'm not really sure exactly how much he costs. I have Prime Del Piero as a middle cam, medium. Would Firmino's high be a problemo as a lone striker, or use him, Mkhitaryan as wingers, wide cams, and use someone else at striker? I don't know how Firmino would do as a wide cam. I think he plays really well in a central-based formation. So I would say if you're using Firmino as a striker, or you're using him as a cam, that's where he's good. If you're using him on the sides in a 4-2-3-1 where he's a wide cam, there's definitely potential there. I would definitely say there's potential, but I feel like there's not enough sprint speed for him to get behind defense and put the pressure on really nicely. Because the thing about Roberto Firmino is that when you're using him, he's incredibly oriented around like hold-up play, kind of, right? Like the way that he plays, he's like, it's because of the physical attributes that he has. He's very just like, let me just hold up the ball, lay it off, pass the ball, lay it off, pass the ball, maybe get a long shot here and there, right? That's what he's kind of oriented around. A Del Piero, there's a lot of potential with that card actually being very good because medium work rates is very good to have as a cam, right? Because you got a good balance of attacking and defending. It's not high-medium, it's not medium-high or anything like that. So you have a very good balance in attacking and defending with a medium work rate. So is it worth trying out? I would definitely say it is. I think it's definitely worth trying out for sure. Valencia, Bailly, Herrera, or Nainggolan, Florenzi, Manolas. That's a tough one because Bailly and Valencia are very good players. Like I would consider Valencia and Bailly on meta levels. I think that they're that good in this game. I think that in terms of meta, I would say like they're on levels of icons. That's how good I think that Bailly and Valencia are. I think Manolas is definitely slept on in this game because I think Manolas is a fantastic card in this game. Florenzi, he's good if you're going to be attacking with him, but I just wouldn't prefer him over Valencia because I just love the high work rates on Valencia because he has very good stats that make up for a very good card in the game. So for me personally, I would definitely go with I would definitely go with Valencia, Baye, and Herrera, just because of those 2 cards by themselves. Because Herrera is a very decent card. If you got his foot miss card is quite decent as well. So I would definitely check him out as well. You should stream your weekend league on YouTube. I can't stream on YouTube because I'm a Twitch streamer, got TOS under Twitch, so streaming on YouTube is a big no-no for me, my friend. Although I do see people doing it sometimes, I can't really do it myself because I wouldn't do it anyways, right? So yeah, that's why I wouldn't be posting any streams from any time for YouTube, because it's just not possible. So this is from my Elite 1 rewards. This guy said you get Firmino and most of top 100 players get Kramaric. Your pack luck is not bad. Dude, my pack luck for FUT Champs is quite decent actually, because I think for last weekend and for this weekend, I've made more profit than most top 100 guys who open their packs, which I would say is a little bit unfair, but at the same time, like I feel like with the team that we have nowadays in comparison to the squads that people usually have nowadays, I'm very pleased with it for sure. But at the same time, FUT Champs recently has been getting super, like not even FUT Champs, but just FIFA in general has been kind of getting a little bit exhausting. So I think the concept of FUT Champs is just definitely draining people at this point. So let's see what else we got here. I couldn't stand the lack of strength for Alaba. I had to put a Sentinel card on him. Previously, I had Shadow on him, but when he got outbodied by Alessandrini, that drew the line. I think that if Alessandrini outbodies Alaba, it's not really down to lack of strength. It's more like it's his speed that overtakes Alaba, in my opinion, right? You could definitely put Sentinel on Alaba, but you'll be lacking in that pace concept, and the pace is very important because there's a lot of like attacking opportunities where when people are attacking through the middle, it's actually better to switch to your fullbacks because they tend to be faster to accelerate and use their sprint speed to the maximum of its potential, because they're pushing from the top or bottom side to the middle. So that's why I like having Shadow on Alaba. I can definitely see where people would say that they would think that Sentinel is definitely better. I can definitely agree with that for sure, because his physical is annoying at times, but I just like him being more of an intelligent player rather than being a physical player. But I might try him out with an anchor card so I can give him a little bit more of physical, just to see if it would help me with the far post cross, because people usually do, if people have really good squads, they'll do like far post crosses, and when they do these far post crosses, it's very easy for them to head the ball in a certain way. So because, you know, people like Alaba are not very physical, they don't really have crazy jumping. Well, I think he actually does have good jumping stats though, but I just think that like people do win the ball often in terms of the far post crosses over him. So definitely understandable for sure, dude. Hey man, you control the ball. You control the ball is amazing. It is really enjoy to watch you control the ball. I look at it as like slow and not keep much skill used like other players, but really work to destroy the defender. How can I improve my ball control like you? I know not easy. I mean the way. Thanks. Ball control is it's completely down from left stick dribbling. Like I'm just left stick dribbling and holding L trigger, letting go of L trigger. That's all it really comes down to. The thing about the dribbling, guys, that people need to understand is that the only way that you can truly dribble in this game is if your gameplay feels good. You guys will notice in my last draft that I did in this video, I think it was my last draft, you're going to notice goals with Ronaldo and Neymar. You're going to notice that they do these small little intricate touches, right? Those little small intricate touches that they do is impossible to do during the daytime, most of the times on the Xbox, right? I was literally just using the left stick and they were responding and dribbling so quickly to the command that I was inputting that it just made for an amazing experience because they were so fast at doing it. I think it was both Neymar and Ronaldo in that draft that did it. So you'll definitely notice that at the end. Dribbling that I do, again, completely down to left stick dribbling, holding L trigger from time to time, letting go of L trigger, holding L trigger, letting go of L trigger. I think I hold L trigger most times I receive a pass or a driven pass, so that way I can control the ball in the direction that the defender behind me is looking, right? So it's consistent sometimes, but it's not consistent all the times. Again, really depends how the gameplay is feeling. Bro, WTF, who eats in a YouTube video? That's so disrespectful. So in terms of like me eating in that video, it's kind of funny because I think because this is like the YouTube channel, it's like its own entity from this Twitch streams. I was streaming at the time and I was streaming for like 5 or 6 hours before I was opening my rewards and I was really hungry. So when I stream, I just tend to eat because, you know, I'm a human. I need food in my stomach. I'm not going to go 4 or 5 hours without eating, right? So that's just not going to be a good thing for me to do because then I'm just gonna end the stream earlier just to go eat. So I was just eating. It was from my stream. Obviously, if it was actually a YouTube video, I wouldn't eat. As you see now, I'm not eating. I am drinking water because talking this much can get exhausting and can make your throat really dry. But I'm not gonna be eating, obviously. So I can definitely see where you come from saying that's disrespectful. But it was from my Twitch streams, and I eat all the time on my Twitch streams because the streams last like, you know, 6, 7, 8 hours, right? At times. So I'm going to eat in between those times, right? What else do we got here? Can you do a video where you select a formation example, 4-1-2 and 2 bracket 2, or 4-2-3-1 and show the tactics and instructions and go into a game and show how you would play? I mean, I have videos separately for the 4-2-3-1 bracket 2 and the 4-1-2 and 2 bracket 2 in terms of instruction and tactics, but I think making specific videos of how I play with the formation is definitely something that I would consider doing as a YouTube series. That's actually not a bad idea. I think showing people the instructions and tactics is one thing, but like when you're playing in game and seeing the actual results of what your tactics and instructions are doing is definitely something that I can consider doing going forward for sure. You were a little off on Cristiano's composure. It's 64. 64? I thought it was like 74. It's 64? That's terrible. Composure is a stat that I genuinely hate so much that they added. It's such a stupid stat that they added because it makes so many players so unusable because of that stat. Imagine a card that should be fun in the Ultimate Team concept, right? A card that should be fun, like the Cristiano. That's the dribbling right there with Neymar, by the way. I don't know if I timed it right with the face cam and stuff, but it's in this. It's going to be in this draft at some point. I think Ronaldo will do the same thing. Yeah, Ronaldo does the same thing right afterwards. So hopefully you guys see that at some point. So I got super caught off. Yeah, the composure stat I genuinely hate it so much because it makes so many players unusable because they can't finish. Because finishing in this game is actually really hard because the goalkeepers are really not goalkeepers, excuse me. De Gea and Farman are so overpowered in this game because of that leg save trait. When people say that, oh, but it makes sense that De Gea is good because of real life. This game, you cannot compare FIFA to real life because there's so many mechanics that you use to score goals that is just not realistic at all. De Gea is only good because he has that leg save trait. Same thing goes for Farman. He's only good because he has that leg save trait. In no way, shape, or form is someone like Farman a better goalkeeper than Neuer in real life. And even in FIFA, Neuer looks like a better goalkeeper than Farman in real life. But the reason why he's not better than Farman in the game is because he doesn't have the leg save trait, so he won't do it consistently, right? Overpowered things that make the game quite bad. So when you have goalies being this overpowered, and you have defensive AI being this overpowered, huge misbalance, by the way, is just by that itself, you have a concept where if your player has 64 finishing, the only types of opportunities that he's going to finish is the easy ones, but the hard ones he's never going to finish because he has 64 composure, right? And I feel like that's a little bit underwhelming because finishing back in the day, I would say more than 4 years ago, there used to be like a consistent way of finishing, but any player could score, right? I wasn't like scared of using someone like Arjen Robben because his right foot wasn't terrible. I knew that I couldn't do regular shots with him, right? But I knew that if I got close enough to the goalkeeper, I would score every time, even if it was on his weak foot. And that made the player usable, right? Nowadays, if you have a player who has a 2-star weak foot, like someone like Mohamed Salah, Salah is amazing in this game. Like his highest version of his card is really good, really fast. But the 2-star weak foot is incredibly noticeable in those really clutch situations, right? And that makes for a really crappy card, right? When you have this 2-star weak foot, because the way that the finishing works in this game, it's completely oriented around driven shots, right? and getting into the box and getting that easy finesse shot, right? So it's incredibly difficult to try out different cards because of this. So 64 composure is really, really low. Keep it up. You earn my respect and subscribe. I hope you do better in foot and provide us with more analysis into players and game tactics. Hey, man, I'm glad that you like the videos. Keep videos long if possible. There's like a billion YouTubers doing the 10-minute vids, and many of us use it as a podcast. That's exactly why I'm making this video, to see how well it does. I don't know if people like the conversation aspect being this long, but I'm definitely going to see if it has a certain success rate in order for people to enjoy the video and not get super annoyed of how long it is. Because I know a lot of you guys listen to the videos as podcasts, so I think me discussing about FIFA can definitely be really interesting to people, and I know that people look forward to to stuff like that. So I'll definitely look into doing more videos like this, but it really depends if people do actually enjoy it. He said Mbappe sucks, lol. Yeah, I think Mbappe is terrible in this game. Mbappe is one of those players that people say is overpowered, but I genuinely think he's awful in this game. He offers nothing to me and my team. I think the reason why I don't like him, and again, guys, there's always a reason for me specifically. There's people who like Mbappe, and that's completely fine. I do not like Mbappe. I'll tell you guys why right now, right? So if you get his regular card, here's the thing that makes this card really, really bad by itself, okay? 78 agility, 76 balance, and 79 reaction time. That alone makes his card terrible. Even when I put a sniper card on him where I'm improving his shooting and I'm improving his agility, balance, and reaction, he still feels like a crappy card to use. I genuinely do not enjoy using him. If you do enjoy using him, because I know a lot of people do like him, that's great. I do not like using him. He offers nothing in my team as a striker, as a right mid, as a left mid, nothing. It just didn't work for me, right? So that's why I didn't really like using Mbappe that much. What is your actual Instagram account? You know what's funny is that people have been telling that to me a lot, and I think it's because the Instagram link in the bio is not right. Interesting. Interesting. I'm going to fix that. Thank you for mentioning that. I did not realize that. Your pack luck is really disgusting. Dude, it's not my pack luck in general. In foot drafts, my pack luck is really, really bad. And I think it's just like that in general for foot drafts. Like, you guys will see me pack Vidal in this video, but like, think of it like this, right, guys? Think about the time that you're spending to play drafts. Think about all the wins that you need to get. If you guys watched the stream yesterday, I streamed for like, I would say 8 hours-ish, 7 hours-ish, and the players that I got were just so bad. Me getting Vidal didn't make up for the 3 or 4 days that I played draft all the time, won the drafts all the time. It just wasn't worth it, right? So majority of times that I get the players in my packs, the reason why I sold everybody on my Xbox account is just to have coins to play drafts, because I know how incredibly boring it is to watch Division 1 because it's always the same teams all the time. It's just, FIFA needs changing next year. You guys already know from the video that I made before, it needs changing. Stuff needs to change to make this game better because it's just too meta-oriented nowadays, man. It's so boring because of this, right? Everyone is using Ronaldinho, Martial, Mbappe, and all these types of guys, right? Even though I hate Mbappe. It's super, super unfortunate for sure. Should I get 90 Henry to replace Martial or Desai for Bailly? Don't even touch Bailly because Bailly is a literal god in this game. He's just a specimen of loveliness, okay? He's so amazing in this game that he's on point or on the level of most icons in this game in terms of defenders. That's how good he is. So if you're going to replace Martial with Thierry Henry, that definitely would be a replacement worth doing, because I'm pretty sure Thierry Henry's finishing would be incredibly good. I will take a look at his card because he did say the 90 version of his card. So I'm going to go take a look at what his actual stats are to see if there'll be anything that you notice that might be bad or good. Okay, so the thing about Thierry Henry is that he has 63 balance. Now, if he has similar traits that work the same way as Ronaldo, then there's a huge potential that he might be really good in the game. But the 63 balance might be really noticeable. So unless he has good traits for the dribbling concept, 63 balance might be a huge problem. So it's definitely a card that you have to try out if you really want to. You can definitely slap maybe an engine? No, I'd want to make his finishing god tier. You have to give his finishing, you have to put his finishing up. Maybe put like a sniper card on him so he doesn't feel like absolute trash. Because his 89 acceleration and 90 sprint speed while also being 6'2 with 80 strength is very nice to have. So I would definitely try putting a sniper card on him to see if it would improve the balance. But if he doesn't have the traits to make up for the poor balance like Ronaldo does, or just attributes in general that Ronaldo has, Thierry Henry won't be nearly as good as Ronaldo. But I never tried out that card, so it's a card that you would definitely have to try out before purchasing, in my opinion. Let's see what else we got going on here. I think that's pretty much it for all the comments on this video. We're going to go check out another video now to see what else we got here. Oh, so this is from the FIFA 19 wish list. This is very interesting, actually. I understand where people come from when they say, like, do you, if I genuinely think that EA cares about my opinions and what they add in the game. And I'll be completely honest with you guys. They genuinely don't, because I'll explain the situation to you guys. I've gone to the studios twice, and I've told them about their gameplay inconsistencies twice. And we still experience it nowadays. They used to, I don't even know, it's like they kind of like ignored it, right? Because if it's still a thing in the game, then they never really did anything about it, or they just choose not to, whatever it is. So do I think making that video will make a difference? No, I genuinely don't. But I thought it was a very interesting type of video that I could have made for my viewers to watch and basically give my opinion on the current state of FIFA and what I think should be better. Because, guys, the thing about this game, right, is that this game used to be a game that would just blow up, right? Like back in the FIFA 13 and 14 days, it was such a good time for FIFA players, right? Like everyone enjoyed the game, everyone liked watching the videos, watching the streams. Like stuff blew up back in the day. Like YouTube videos and streams were huge back in the day, right? But nowadays it just dies so quickly because we're always getting the same recycled things all the time, right? And there's a lot of changes that need to be done. The gameplay needs to be revamped to have fun, man, because it's too meta-oriented. There's so many concepts in this game that's just not okay for competitive. Again, I genuinely think that a concept like Foot Champs needs to be removed from the game, because I think pushing this game in competitive is what makes this game so crappy nowadays, because everyone is focused on competitive rather than just having fun and trying out different teams. That's why I sold everything on my Xbox. Playing drafts has given that, I would say, concept to me where I can try out different players and just have fun with the game, right? That's why I make the drafts the way I make them. Some people don't agree with those draft selections that I get, but I make the draft selections completely down to the players that I want to use. If I play seasons and I'm using my same team over and over again against other people that are using the same team over and over again, it's so boring. But when I play foot drafts, at least people are using different formations, they're using different players. The rewards are absolutely terrible in terms of a consistent aspect, because getting Vidal in this video made no difference in terms of whether the time was worth spending on it. Because if you guys look at the rewards that I got from these 3 or 4 drafts that I won, they're terrible rewards, right? So it's definitely an unfortunate thing. But again, I like playing draft because it gives me that different concept, and I really wish that they add the World Cup mode, because I feel like it'll bring that concept back into people, right? For them to have fun with the game. And I'm almost certain that they're going to make some version of a World Cup game, whether it's for an extension of FIFA Ultimate Team like they did for FIFA 14, or it's going to be its own separate game. If it's its own separate game, I'm going to leave this game so quickly because it's so boring to play this game, and I need to play a game that is genuinely fun to play. And I hope that EA don't mess it up, because it needs to be a game that people look forward to playing every single day, right? This game right now is just incredibly underwhelming, and things definitely need to be changed. In terms of that, that's what I think. So whether EA care about the video, again, they don't, right? Because they clearly don't. I'm probably never going to go to the studios again unless it's for me to make YouTube videos on the early release of FIFA, or to genuinely help them fix their game. But if it's anything like trying out the game early, it's such a waste of time to do that, because the game is going to change anyway, so everything I say just completely becomes irrelevant. I don't care about trying the game early because it's going to change anyways. A lot of different concepts, right? So I wish that I wish and I hope that this game is different next year and that they change a lot of things. But we're going to continue pushing through because I know that one year FIFA can be what it used to be back in FIFA 13 and 14, where things just blew up. YouTube was great, streaming was great, everyone loved the game, and it was just fun, right? That's what I really hope that FIFA will be in the future. This competitive nonsense needs to stop, and I genuinely hope that there's a change in the future. But that is going to do it for the video today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have any more questions that you would like to ask, be sure to leave it down in the comment section down below for me to answer in another video. If people do enjoy these videos, again, please drop a thumbs up on it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.